Hi, welcome to Illinois. In today's video, we are going to discuss about Docker part. As a part of cloud repository in reference to the DevOps environments, at the same time cloud related environments and all that. So different tools nowadays we are using. So it could be Kubernetes, it could be Docker and all that stuff. So in this video today, I'm going to explain you how to create a repository in Docker. So for that, I have taken an cloud application tool called Docker Hub. So in this, I'm just creating a repository. So wherein if you want to create a repository, make sure you have to uh, create an account in the cloud environment. So once we have used in creating in cloud account environment, here we need to mention about the kind of namespace what we have here. So I'm just mentioning a namespace called Raj, right? So this is what the namespace I'm using. So we need to provide some repository name here. As Raj, I've just given a repository name. At the same time, there must be some characters, special characters, all that, or at the rate may contain special. Yeah, I'm using a lowercase numbers here. Raj, I have taken as a repository name. Description. This will be used to develop my private cloud applications, right? So this is what I'm just mentioning here. Right? So I'm just mentioning here. So I'm using only private cloud. Public cloud means where it will be appeared in the Docker Hub search results. Private cloud is what I'm just creating. So this is where generally the one which I have created, right? So this is where generally I have created an application and I've created an application, all that stuff. Wherein here, if you want to create any kind of tags or something, like if you want to create any kind of filter tags and all everything, we can create here. At the same time, if you want to build any kind of automatic builds and all everything, so this build activities can be created even here equally. At the same time, if you want to have any kind of collaborations, all that stuff, we can create some collaborations followed by any kind of webhooks. Or if you want to create any kind of webhooks and all everything, so these webhooks can be created. And if you want to make any kind of settings in reference to that, here we can see there are some settings which we have to make so that people can view. Means make sure if you want to go for any kind of public related clouds and all everything. So this is all will be used for. This is how generally, which normally an account has to be created in reference to the Docker itself is concerned. So once we have created a Docker, you can see here, right? So we can see the Docker commands, all that stuff, which can be seen in the right hand side of yours. This is where generally we can see. At the same time, this is an application where I've used a private cloud application where it is being used for my different applications which I wants to create as such, all that stuff. At the same time, if you want to mention any kind of overviews in reference to the repositories what I'm maintaining, so here I can use add overview and I can add all these things accordingly. This is what I can do. Along with this, if I want to do any kind of settings in reference to that, here I can do the settings, or else I can create some tags, right? So tag creations and all everything we have to clear off, right? So where we have to sort it according to the levels what we have, right? So if you want to create any kind of tags or something of that sort, we can do it. So followed by this, it's a image inside settings where if you want to create any kind of image inside settings and all, where we have to upgrade it for the scanning purpose, all that stuff. At the same time, if I want to create any kind of visibility settings and all from the private cloud, we can move this to the public cloud, because in the cloud environment where there are two different services, one is public cloud and second is private cloud. Public cloud means where public account will be created over there. At the same time, when we talk about private cloud means whatever the private cloud accounts and all everything will be created there equally. This is where generally public and private cloud differences are all about. This is where generally the public and as well as private clouds and all everything will be initiated here. This is what generally and how this is where generally we have to work on all that stuff. This is what generally we need to do in reference to the cloud settings. All that stuff here itself is concerned. Followed by this, if you want to create any kind of cloud settings or account settings we wants to make out of it, we can go to the cloud settings environment where whatever the settings to be made, everything can be done equally here. This is where generally we can see. At the same time, if you want to filter any kind of tags, right? So for example, any kind of configuration related stuff, right? But make sure we need to create some tags first for that, right? So then only we can create all that. Otherwise, this is not something possible for us to create any kind of tags, all that stuff. At the same time, if you want to create any kind of builds and all everything, we can build it. Or else if you require any kind of collaborators, or if you want to create any kind of webhooks, right? So generally this webhooks creation can be made wherein we have to provide some webhook name, right? So name of the webhook, right? At the same time, we need to provide some, so you can see here, right? So this is where generally we have to create some URLs and all that. Of course, I have not created any URLs so far. You can create a URL for that. And if you can click on create, automatically this webhooks and all everything will be created equally in this Docker. So this is all about repository where we can build, we can collaborate, right? So all these things can be done equally here. This is where generally an overall understanding about Docker is all about. For more information regarding if you have any questions, any queries and all that, please reach out to the contact details which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you.